From the moment I was old enough to understand words, I was told that family came first. Family is everything, my mother would say whenever she asked me to share my allowance with my younger sister. My father, quieter but stern, added his version. If you're the oldest, you take care of the others. That's the rule. At first, it sounded noble, even comforting. I thought I was part of something sacred, a bond unbreakable. But as I grew older, I realized that what they really meant was, you must sacrifice, and they will take. By the age of 16, while other kids worried about prom dates and video games, I was juggling a part-time job just to help pay rent. I remember handing my mother an envelope with my entire paycheck, and she didn't even glance at me before tucking it into her purse. No smile. No thank you. Just expectation. This pattern repeated itself like clockwork. College fund. I helped Emma, my younger sister, pay her tuition while I settled for community college. Vacations. Emma and her husband Joe went to Disney World with my money while I stayed home working overtime. House down payment? They bought their dream house thanks to my contributions, and all I got in return was silence, as if my sacrifices were nothing more than what I owed. Still, I told myself, this is family. This is what love looks like. But deep inside, a voice kept whispering, no one loves you back the way you love them. It all reached a breaking point last Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving had always been my favorite holiday, at least in theory. A day of gratitude, of family gathering around a table, of warmth. That year, I wanted to believe things could be different. I had spent weeks preparing. I bought gifts for everyone, sweaters for my parents, toys for Emma's kids, even a new gadget for Joe. I carried the bags into the house with a smile, hoping that maybe this time they'd see me not just as a provider, but as part of the family. The house smelled of roasted turkey and cinnamon pie when I arrived. Everyone was already seated, laughter bouncing off the walls. For a fleeting second, I felt like I belonged. I handed out the gifts one by one, waiting for a reaction. But the reaction came in whispers first. Emma leaned toward my mother, muttering something that made her smirk. Then Joe gave me a hesitant glance, as if he knew something I didn't. Finally, Emma spoke out loud, her voice slicing through the room. Is this all? After everything we've done for you, this is what you bring? You used to be generous. What happened to you? The room fell silent. I felt the air thicken, like invisible hands wrapping around my throat. My father cleared his throat and added, your sister is right. You've been stingy lately. We've all noticed stingy. The word burned. I, who had given up my teenage years, my savings, my dreams, was now being labeled stingy. I tried to defend myself, my voice trembling. I've paid for so many things, Emma's tuition, your vacations, even part of this house. And you call me stingy? Emma rolled her eyes dramatically. You're living in the past. That's over. What matters is now, and right now, you're not giving enough. The final blow came from my mother. She didn't raise her voice, but her words pierced deeper than any scream. If you can't contribute like before, maybe you shouldn't come around so often. That was it. A lifetime of sacrifice, dismissed in one sentence. The clatter of forks against plates filled the silence as if nothing had happened. And then, in front of everyone, my father stood up, walked to the door, and opened it wide. You should leave, he said simply. I remember my legs trembling as I walked out, the cold November air biting my skin harsher than ever before. My hands were still full of the unopened gifts I had brought. Behind me, the laughter resumed, muffled by the closing door. For the first time, I realized the truth. I wasn't family to them. I was just a wallet with legs. In the days after Thanksgiving, silence replaced the usual demands. No phone calls, no texts. For a moment, I thought maybe they had finally understood. Maybe they realized how far they had pushed me. But peace never lasts long in a family that thrives on taking. One Saturday morning, there was a furious knock on my apartment door. I opened it to find Emma, her face red with anger, arms crossed tightly across her chest. "You embarrassed me in front of everyone," she spat. "You owe me." "I've got bills, kids, responsibilities. You don't get to walk away just because you're throwing a tantrum." I stood my ground. "I don't owe you anything, Emma. I've given more than I had, and all you ever did was demand more." Her eyes narrowed. "If you don't pay, I'll make sure you regret it. I'll get a lawyer if I have to." The threat hung in the air, sharp and poisonous. But before I could respond, another voice joined us. "Joe." He stepped out from behind her, holding a folder in his hand. His face was pale, but his voice was steady. "Stop it, Emma." Enough, Emma spun around. "What are you doing here? Don't you dare take his side." But Joe didn't flinch. He opened the folder and pulled out bank statements. "I know everything. The secret account. The thousands of dollars you siphoned off every month. While I worked double shifts and he pointed at me, sacrificed for you. You were out shopping, booking spa weekends, taking trips. You used us both." Emma's face drained of color. For the first time, she had no words. Joe turned to me, his voice softer. "I'm sorry. I should have seen it sooner. She made me believe you were just cold, ungrateful. But it was her all along." He looked back at Emma one last time. "I'm done. I'm taking the kids. We deserve better." The argument that followed was chaos. Emma screaming, Joe standing firm, neighbors peeking through their doors. But the decision had already been made. That day, Joe packed bags, and with my help, he and the children left to start over somewhere new. As I watched them drive away, I felt a strange mixture of sorrow and relief. I had lost a sister, but in truth, she had been gone long before. What I gained was freedom, from manipulation, from guilt, from the endless cycle of sacrifice. Weeks later, my parents called. Their voices were smaller, gentler, almost ashamed. They apologized for the things they said, for taking sides without seeing the truth. I listened, but I didn't let their guilt chain me anymore. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the provider, the savior, the scapegoat. I was simply me, and that was enough.